All right, let's dive into one of the most powerful political stories ever told, George Orwell's Animal Farm. It's a tale that kicks off with this beautiful, inspiring dream of freedom and then twists into an absolute nightmare of total control. So the big question is, how could a revolution go so wrong? How was it so completely betrayed? So our story starts on Manor Farm, and honestly, it's a pretty miserable place. The farmer, Mr. Jones, is neglectful, and life for the animals is just drudgery and despair. But then comes our catalyst for change, Old Major. He's this wise, respected old boar, and he knows his time is short. So he gathers everyone to share this incredible vision he had in a dream. Old Major's message? It's brutally simple, really. He lays it all out. He says, look, the reason for all our suffering, the hunger, the endless work, our short lives, it all comes down to one single, removable cause: man. Man is the only creature that just takes and takes without ever producing anything himself. And Old Major doesn't just give them a vague idea, he gives them a blueprint for a new world. I mean, look at these principles. It's a complete and total rejection of everything human. He sets down these clear, hard rules for their future. But the foundation, the one idea holding it all together, is that last one. All animals are equal, absolutely, non-negotiably equal. And to really burn this vision into their hearts, he teaches them a song, Beasts of England. Now, this isn't just some catchy tune, it's a powerful anthem. It paints this vivid, incredible picture of a future free from chains, a golden age. And you know what? The animals are completely swept away by it. It gives them hope. Well, not long after Old Major passes away, the rebellion actually happens. And it's almost spontaneous. A drunk Mr. Jones forgets to feed them, they get desperate and break into the food stores. When he tries to whip them back in line, something just snaps. They fight back. They drive every single human off the farm. Just like that, Manor Farm is theirs. And they give it a new name, Animal Farm. The pigs, who are the cleverest of the animals, naturally step up to lead. They take Old Major's whole philosophy and boil it down into 7 core principles. They call it animalism, and they paint these commandments right there on the barn wall for everyone to see. This isn't just a list of suggestions. This is their constitution. It is meant to be unalterable law forever. But that feeling of pure victory, it doesn't last. The very first crack in their perfect ideal of equality appears almost right away. The cows get milked, and somehow those buckets of fresh, creamy milk, they just vanish. Then the same thing happens with the windfall apples. They're all claimed exclusively by the pigs. And this is our first real introduction to Squealer. You need to pay attention to this guy. He's Napoleon's brilliant spin doctor. He's sent out to explain this new arrangement, and just listen to his technique. He frames their privilege as a noble sacrifice. He says the pigs are the brain workers, and they need this extra nutrition to keep the farm running. And then he deploys the ultimate weapon, fear. Surely, he says, none of you want Jones to come back? And right here, we see exactly how the betrayal starts. Squealer's argument, it sounds plausible, doesn't it? But by saying this privilege is necessary for the common good, the pigs have just created a class system. It's the very first step down a really slippery slope, using the good of the group to justify special treatment for a few. So this quiet power grab soon explodes into open conflict. The leadership splits between 2 key figures: Snowball, who's this brilliant and passionate idealist, and Napoleon, who's much quieter, more cunning, more tactical. Their rivalry really comes to a head over Snowball's incredibly ambitious plan to build a windmill. You see, they have 2 totally different visions. Snowball thinks the windmill is the key to a paradise on Earth. Less work, more comfort for everyone. He also wants to spread the revolution to other farms. Napoleon, on the other hand, just scoffs at all that. He argues for what's practical, for what's controllable right now. More food and building up their defenses. The big debate finally happens. Snowball gives this incredible, eloquent speech, and you can see he's won everyone over. But Napoleon isn't playing the same game. He has zero interest in democracy. He lets out this high-pitched whimper, a signal, and unleashes his secret weapon, 9 massive, vicious dogs that he'd secretly raised from puppies. They charge straight out Snowball and chase him right off the farm. And with his rival gone, Napoleon immediately cancels all future debates. In one swift, brutal move, the revolution is dead. The dictatorship has begun.
So, how does Napoleon get away with this? Well, it's a mix of raw fear and the blind, unquestioning loyalty of animals like Boxer, the cart horse. Boxer is the strongest, most hardworking animal on the farm, but his unthinking devotion, summed up in his motto, Napoleon is always right, becomes this incredibly powerful tool for the new regime. His loyalty makes the dictatorship seem legitimate and convinces others to just fall in line.
Now that any real opposition has been crushed, Napoleon's regime starts its most sinister project, not just controlling the present, but completely rewriting the past. History, their memories, even their most sacred laws, they all become whatever the pigs say they are. So the first casualty is the memory of the revolution itself. Remember Beasts of England? That incredible anthem that sparked their dreams of a better world? Well, Squealer announces it's been banned, outlawed. The official story is that the rebellion is over, so they don't need the song anymore. But the real reason? It's to wipe out the memory of their original ideals, because those ideals now look like a bitter accusation against the farm's grim new reality. Before long, the pigs start moving into the farmhouse, and the other animals, they have this vague memory. Wasn't there a rule against sleeping in beds? But when they go to check the barn wall, the commandment has been adjusted. Squealer's there to explain, of course, that any pile of straw is a bed. The rule was only against sheets, which are a human invention. It is gaslighting on a massive scale. And then the regime's control escalates from manipulation to pure, outright terror. Napoleon holds these horrifying show trials. Animals are dragged forward, forced to confess to ridiculous crimes, like conspiring with the exiled Snowball. And then, right in front of everyone, they are brutally slaughtered by Napoleon's dogs. The farmyard is piled with corpses. Their single, most sacred commandment has just been shattered. The animals are absolutely horrified. But when they check the wall again, they find the law has changed once more. 2 little words have been added at the end, creating a loophole big enough to justify Napoleon's political murders. At this point, truth is whatever the regime needs it to be. Years go by, the farm actually gets richer, but only for the pigs and the dogs. Everyone else works harder than ever and gets less and less to eat. Then one day, the animals see something that completely shocks them to their core. The pigs are walking on their hind legs. The last shreds of animalism are gone. They start wearing clothes, drinking alcohol, behaving exactly like the humans they once overthrew. When the animals finally get a chance to look at the barn wall, they find that all 7 commandments have been painted over, and in their place is just one single paradoxical statement that perfectly sums up the complete and utter betrayal of everything they fought for. The circle is now complete. The oppressed have become the new oppressors. And that is the chilling warning of Animal Farm. It's about how easily revolutions can be betrayed from the inside, how the purest ideals can be twisted by propaganda, worn down by apathy, and completely destroyed by the hunger for power. Orwell's story leaves us with this crucial reminder. We have to question authority, and we must never, ever give up our own ability to think for ourselves.